Hello everybody. I hope you had a nice day, and today we are going to code a little bit more into what we did 2 days ago. So yesterday I was working a little bit on the stream OBS, the streaming software, just released an update last week, and then I had some plugins that weren't working just like they are supposed to be. And so yesterday I took some time and edited some of the software that I had in OBS, removed some plugins that are not working anymore. Sorry, there were some text messages that I displayed that did not have an outline anymore. So now I fixed that with the new OBS update. Now in the new OBS update, you can make these outlines automatically in OBS. So I don't need a plugin anymore. Luckily for me, because the plugin for that broke, and since I can do that now in OBS, I'm very thankful for that. On the other side, I added VCL media playlist to the screens that I can show in between, but I'm not sure if that was a good decision. I just watch my own stream right now and could listen to the audio. Now the benefit of this is that I'm not using desktop audio, and if I do anything on while starting the screen, you won't hear any audio of that. It might be maybe testing the game still while starting the stream, and you won't listen to the audio of that, and then I can do a little bit more of preparation. But it seems to me that there was quite some disturbance in the audio, because when I'm starting the editor and I'm starting the IDE, then you use up a lot of resources. That means that these whole lot of resources then use up a lot of processing power, and this processing power is missing in the VCL. Is this VCL? VLC, sorry. VLC. So VLC media player setup, and this is disturbing the audio. I've heard that from other streamers too, and it looks like I will have to find a solution around that, because right now it doesn't make a good appearance if the sound is lagging when I'm having the stream starting. So going to keep an eye on that. Aside from that, I still have to add maybe some kind of bot to the stream. It's also missing, and I also have to take into account that I haven't up. There was something else that I forgot. Now about the stream that I wanted to add in OBS. Yeah, I'm coming up with this. Any second. Yeah, I wanted to add stream bots for if you write any comments. I wanted to add that. There was a second thing that I wanted to add, but I don't remember right now. So maybe I will remember later. So let's go ahead and go to our task. Now, our original task here is here you can see the underlines here. I've worked a little bit on the look of the stream. I think it looks a little bit better. Well, at least it shouldn't decrease. The look shouldn't decrease in quality. It should go up. But yeah, still I'm still. This is my 34th stream, and yeah, there's still room for improvement. Not gonna lie there. But aside from that, I don't have time forever to do this. Yeah, just a matter of time though. Okay. So we have our substep to-do list here, and let's just skip ahead and say this is setting up the brush for our assets. But there's a thing that we need to fix first. Last time we set up these backgrounds here, and we want the fog here. The only thing that we couldn't solve is that the fog here, and is in the background, is not at the correct height. So let's say we put this fog here, and we put this fog here, and in the game, when I now start the game, the fog will not be at this position. Everything else will be at exactly at those positions, but the fog will have a different position. Let's pause the picture immediately and see what happens. Okay, you can see the fog is here in the white position. Let's take a look. Here the fog is in the right position. This is a little bit lower, but it seems to work. No, it's in the right position from the start. That's odd. Okay, last time it looked different. And I haven't updated. Seems to be some really weird error. So my first thought about this was maybe the canvas is pulling the camera to the player and updating the background image and the particle emitter position. But I'm not sure about that. Now this looks exactly like it should be. Let's take a look again. Now here you can see that the fog is actually a little bit higher. The fog is above these mountains here. So yes, the fog is higher in this version than it is in the final version. And we really had a big of a problem with this. A bit of the problem. If you look at this mountain here in the front, with the white top, the fog is until this line ends here. Let's stop the game. This line is here. Now, when I play the fog, the other one, you see that the fog is way higher. This is the line, and the fog should have been right here, but it was here, this position. So its height value was not correct. We need to find out why. That is, it's only a problem with the particle system, not happening with anything else. So we have tried out some things. Let's set the float, the speed of each layer to 1. See what happens. No, 1 is very, very high. Let's set it to 0.1f and see what happens. Now every layer should be affected exactly as at the same rate as each other layer. This float that we just edited is adjusting the height of every layer. So if the height for every layer is adjusted at the same rate, then it is logical that they should always remain at the same position. Except if Unity crashes, then we are going to see nothing. Which is really annoying right now. How could we else use our time? Unity will need some time. We can aside from that, we can just try to see what happens. What is affecting the Y position. Close this. So if you look at the scripts here and just look for the Y position, we could effectively maybe try to catch this error. So let's see. Here the Y position is not changed. Here the Y position is not changed. Here's the Y position changed with the shift value that I just set up to be the same with every layer. So we can kind of rule this out if it now doesn't work. We could also just comment this out. Actually, we can comment these two out. Don't need those. And let's also comment this one out. So now we should be able to rule out that the shift in the Y position is coming from this line here, because this is the most likely candidate for the Y position of the particle systems to change themselves. And if that is not the case, we can here go into the update function, say, hey, don't shift horizontally, don't shift vertically. Actually, we should do that first, because that is really the method with that we can make sure that we find the bug as fast as possible. We can if they don't do anything now and the Y position is wrong, that means that this script, we can edit this script and search for errors everywhere in this script. We won't find anything because it's not in the script. There must be something else that is affecting it. However, if now the Y position is correct, that would mean that there is something inside the script that is affecting the Y position in a bad way. We have to find that out. So now we see the Y position and for good measurement, let us go to the backgrounds and disable layer 1, 2, 3. And now we see the same result. The POC is actually going and hitting this edge exactly. So we can rule out that these two functions are to blame. There's something else that is affecting the Y position of the layers. Now, I shouldn't have done that because now it's because there was a benefit in having this, and that is we can read actually how the fog was changed. Damn, that's annoying. Okay, let me think for a moment. If this is not affecting the particle systems, we also it would be nice if you could look that up right now. That's so stupid. These crashes are quite annoying. That's what we though that it happened twice now, because normally I would say that could mean that we have a problem with our scripts. On the other side, would make much sense, since last time we didn't actually crash anytime. Wait a moment, I think I found something. This here is changing the Y speed of each layer, and this should actually be done before these layers awake, before they initialize. That's bad. So this should be in the wake function, and this should be the normal function, the start function. It's weird that it ever worked. Now let me take a look into the fog in the lowest position. It's also higher than what we are seeing. What we were seeing when we tested. So that's also not it. So you can only take a now the fog should stay at this position, 163.00 should stay in this position. Let's take a look of if the fog emitter stays in that position. Let's take a look. So now we see the fog is too low. This is 00, that's correct. It's 163, that's also correct. So this position is actually correct. That's weird though. So the values that are in there, the shifting values, this seems to be okay. Y shifting speed is between layer 5 and 6. That's correct. So that is not the problem. The values that my scripts set up are correct. So how? You can also see this box here is above the moon. Now let's hit stop. It didn't change. It is as if the particles are in another position. This is very weird. Now the last thing that I need to worry about is these stars here. We have these stars. Actually a little bit too high. Right now. The shape is a little bit too big. So let's squeeze it together. Because the stars take a lot of resources. And now let's see if these stars are also lower in the build. No, they aren't. So the fog is lower, but the stars aren't. Now, is the fog affected by gravity? No. Modifies 0. They are in the correct layer. They do not have any Y speed. So how? Was this able to have the wrong position with each particle? Now they spawn in the wrong position. So maybe it has something to do with the screen size. Let's put this to a ridiculous screen size and see what happens if we play the emitter. Okay, now let's see what happens if we played in-game. Just don't want this to maximize. Please normally. Play normally. And then we should maybe be able to determine where our bug is. So now the fog is a little bit higher. So if we put this back into a normal, position, now the fog is in the correct position. Ah, I see. So yeah, it's not a bug at all. The thing is, the background is stretched with a screen size, and we were playing in play mode in a different screen size. The fog had a different position. Now you can see the fog has a position that we assigned it to. So we have to be careful because it doesn't scale very well with screen size. At least not at the same rate as these layers here do. So let's read the image values. I think they are from -0.5 to 1.5. Let's insert them inside of here. So apply this. We cannot apply this. And go to apply these overrides and then check them out. Now they are in the correct position. If we put this to maximized, they should be in the wrong position. Now the only thing that we have then to keep in mind is when we set them up, when we set them up, we have to make sure that we put the aspect ratio, and now it should set itself up correctly. And the only thing that I also saw that last time in the first picture wasn't correct. Now it should be because we switched around the awake function and the start function of the setter. No, it didn't set up correctly. So maybe you can make the update function here public and then call it from the awake function. No, we can't. You need to make this one public. And then we can also call this initialize. Initialize yeah. You could also give this the name of the script. Don't know about that? No. There was something about this in programming language. I think it's in Java you can do this. So then we in the end have to tell each Parallax script to initialize. Okay, now that should perform as well as it can be. And it should set itself up before the first frame. Now, unfortunately, Unity has a tendency to keep crashing today. It's worrying me quite a little bit. Might be a good idea to make a restart today. I've also already have eaten dinner because I thought it would be nice to have no interruption to the stream. But since this doesn't turn out to be the case. So no. JetBrains, the IDE is using an unusual amount of memory space. Really unusual for an IDE. OBS though, not so much. So, I would say, well, I got to take a break. Gonna restart the PC and be right back after that, because it seems that I'm using too much memory space right now, and maybe restarting will free up some memory space, since I've been working all day on this PC and haven't restarted, and might be possibly increase the performance, and we need that right now. So be right back. Going to restart. Okay, just as I said, I'm back right now. I restarted the PC. Now I did open up my windows, so you might hear some cars outside now. I'm not at a very busy street, but it can get quite of loud when a car drives by. But I was avoid a little bit because my PC fan was very loud, and the CPU temperature was too high. So I need to cool down the room as much as possible to ensure that we have as much resources that we have. Now, as I said, I don't have the best PC. Actually, need to upgrade it as soon as possible for a long time right now, Sean. But well, it's not what you want to have in the life that counts. It's where you are, and you have to make your way from where you are. And here I am, and let's get going and work. So can I get this a little bit higher? No? Okay. And sorry for setting myself up. Okay, now let's hope for the best. Pray to the algorithm gods that they let us program a little bit, because we have important stuff to do. Now, the second bug, because we get to our real task that we haven't touched so far, is we have discovered a bug while testing, and that was when setting the language. The game did crash. Not crash. Did display an weird behavior when setting up the language. Let's see if we can reproduce this right now. No. So this is an editor only error. When I did this in the build did not do this correctly. So in the build I did this, and what happened there was this menu, this drop down didn't close. You had an X in both fields, in both buttons, and the language was not set up correctly. So what I think happened here is that in the current build, this crashed. And I did set this up. Now, I did this in level 1, so let's quit this level, go to the main menu, make a new game, and skip the intro, and then let's try to look at the difficulty. No, the language. The difficulty is all right. We immediately have an error. That's nice. So, object reference not set. Which one? Cam transform. Okay, we need... No. It's private. So did not find the camera main transform. Okay. It's interesting. Because this is in the camera main. And it might be because it was initialized before the camera was initialized. Or I don't know. I think possible null exception. Maybe we should rewrite this code here. Okay, we can't play. Did it crash? No. Can't play. It seems it will not be able to use the cam transform because this is needed every update. So this is and this is this is game object. Find with tag. There should only be one, which is named main camera. Transform. See if this is working. So if every camera is tagged correctly, and they should because they use a prefab. So this should make sure that we always will find this camera. This cam. Okay, it works. It works in the first level. So let's go to the main menu. And hopefully we have fixed this bug now. No, we didn't. Why though? So there is another possibility. And that is that this background right here is different. Yeah, this is not the same background that we use in this level. Yeah. So we need to go to our scene here, level 1, to test this. This will not work in any level now. Now every level is broken. We have to set up the background again. That's just a matter of minutes. Yeah. We need to drag in the prefab. Put it as a child of the camera. This seems to be a little bit big. And at the wrong position. Where's the map? That's weird. Oh, we haven't set up the camera. That should be the problem. Yeah. Now the background is correct. Actually, let's not do this. Just open the camera in isolation. Because I'm too lazy to do this in level, we're just going to put in this background. And if you want to have another background, we can switch it out altogether. Now, we probably want to change the name of the prefab though, of this one. Background manager. Yep. Name this background manager because I don't want to change this this prefab here. If I would change the background, I would change the individual layers here. This is how it's supposed to be. Okay. So now we have the background manager here. And we can now set up the lowest positions. So what's the lowest for the game? It's right there. So the game will look like this at the lowest positions. And then we can set up the highest positions. That's how it's supposed to work. And where's the camera to start? This high. Is this the highest position? Yes. So then let's set up the highest positions here. And see what happens. I think we will not see a background. Yeah. Now we have to change one thing. So we can now just put the lowest and highest positions everywhere. But the old lowest positions were the 0 position, so they would be always on the same position as the camera. Now we can just move them around. And this means we can then, after we save the camera transform, we can say transform position equals to cam transform position. This should work. Okay, we can actually introduce a variable here. Just name it vector3, please. Okay. Because not naming the specific type of a variable is actually not the best coding style. It's accepted, but I don't think it's a good style to not specifically call names, call the variable type. Okay, didn't work. So let's see what the problem is. So it is somewhere, but it's not at the correct position. Oh, we have to tell him at the low. Wait, what did I do here? Oh, then yeah. We could also just say no. 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 Can do this in this setup. Local position is vector3 0. So this should set it up to have the camera position. Let's see what happens. And we want this always to be in the camera position. We don't want to this to be higher or lower. We want it to be exactly at the camera position. Yes. But it did not set up itself correctly. Let's look where the camera is. Camera is here. The highest positions are there. So we need... No, this should actually not have any effect. Let's see.
Awake, you've become a great vampire.
God damn it, it didn't work. So we have a big problem here. Oh, and then we are actually way too low here. So, that just happened. Then we can see that there's a problem with the tiling, which is also not very good. So after spending a whole day on this, it looks like we will have to spend another day on this. So no brushes today. No brushes today. Okay. This is unacceptable. And I don't know how it could work so well 2 days ago. But you put it into another level and it doesn't work at all. Let's make a test. Just for good measure. Let's put this to 0, 0, 0 from the start. And put this really high. See what happens.
Awake, you've become a...
Yeah, okay, that's correct. What if we set up the camera to be here? Just for good measure, because that was the method we were using last time. So it might be that we make a mistake if we drag the lowest position away from the camera.
Awake.
Okay, now we need to go through the game actually. So this might take some time. We see a tiling issue in the background already. That's weird. That's very weird. Because we did extensive testing with this. But well, got to accept there's still a problem. Null reference. Oh, so it has a reference to the difficulty, but never did set up itself to initialize the global variables. That's easily fixed. just find a script that initializes the global variables like this. This part here is missing. Okay.
Away.
Yeah, let's see what's happening here. I think this is layer 5. Yeah, where we see this happen. And this happens because it did not push itself correctly. Okay, so the problem here is that it did put in top and bottom values. No, it's not the problem.
Blaztron. Hello. Blaztron. Hello.
Hello, Blaztron, what's up? You like watching some programming stream? You want to educate yourself and get much more knowledge and become a powerful programmer, I guess. Yes, I do. I'm a beginner coder. Okay, nice. Nice to get to know you. So, how long are you coding and what are you working on? And I actually found my bug here. These two objects have the same position. They shouldn't have. I mainly work on Scratch. Stupid, but a really powerful thing. Once you know it. Oh. Yeah. Well, that's said about a lot of tools, so that's kind of a generic thing to say. But well, at least you like your work there. So what are you doing at the beginning? Beginner coder. How long did you code? And yeah, then are you just have you just started yet, or have you been modding for longer? Are you studying coding or doing something at school with code? I know I started doing code with actually StarCraft, and I was just modding a little bit. Back then it was not really code, and then I did Warcraft maps, and after that, yeah, I started coding and learned all the stuff. Pretty hard stuff, really, to get into. Not something that many people would call a really nice hobby, But once you go through a barrier and another barrier and a lot of barriers, you will finally have some really fun time. I've been coding on Scratch for a year. I do a okay amount of Python, background designing, and normal game making. Background designing. Interesting. This is also my own background here that I designed. Unfortunately, it's not. There's a coding error. So this image here is supposed to repeat itself indefinitely, but it did put itself into the wrong position, which is unfortunate. Yeah, now I will have to fix that, and I already thought I would have fixed that. But the anchor positions are wrong. Yeah, and just looking into a lot of bugs right now. Finding one bug after another. Once you start testing your stuff, it gets worse and worse. This is my menu here. And yeah, it seems to be working just fine. This is the actual bug that I wanted to look at. Yeah. This is the game. As you can see, the background here is supposed to repeat itself indefinitely, but it does not set itself up correctly. There's definitely an error. Something is wrong. Right? You see some mountains popping up.
You are now there.
So I think I know what happened. To look into that later. Ah, okay. Actually, I wanted to try out something else though before I.
This is the area
to go through a lot of events here. So this is quite late in development. So I can actually aim and well, if I would be able to play good, I could actually kill this guy. It's brutal, yeah. So this game is I tried to make this more like Undertale, and then that didn't work out too well because you're playing a vampire. So then I said, okay, I think the more friendly route doesn't work. So I need this to be a hard game. Oh, God damn it. I also suck at the game right now because I increased the difficulty, and I haven't tested out with the new difficulty, and I'm used to the enemies to be really easy. And yeah, now they're actually hard. That's quite a problem.
Hey!
So just try to skip here. Damn it. The enemies are really fast right now. And now I wanted to see if I go up here, the mountains should shift.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
God damn it. So the mountains should shift at this position here. And since I set up the difficulty to be much harder, it's actually quite hard to do. Okay, now let's see if the test is working. Yeah, that's nice. Now we should see that the mountains hit wise. If I don't die all the time, that is. Yeah. Now you see that the layer that is at the lowest position, you can't see it if you are going up the mountain. So once you go up the level and get some height, the background is going to shift a little bit. Now the only thing that I need to fix is this part here. This image did set up itself not correctly, and I think it's because of the update function, but this can be done. This is something that can be done. And then I have to find out why the lowest position has to be at the same position as the camera position, because that would be much easier if I can put this anywhere and don't have a need to have this to be at the exact position where the camera is starting. I want to put this here, just here, and also I'm making a game where you can where you make tests once. It isn't for any game, just random tests. What's this test? Tool assisted speed one. Is that AI related? I'm just looking this up right now. Speedrunning an emulated game during development of the speedrun, the frame rate is slowed down to allow precise inputs with ease. Yes. Interesting. So are you working with an AI to set this up? Last time I worked with an AI, it was at a university project, and it was a lot of fun, but it was also very complicated and time intensive. My father is one of, if not the biggest engineer for his side of the company. I have some help. So he's your tool that is assisting your speedrun, I guess. Looks like you have a very competent father, and that's a very good starting point just to get into programming. If you don't have anyone to help you, yeah, it's gonna be harder, definitely. Oh my god, there are two squirrels making babies right in front of my window. No privacy. Oh. Well, then let them have their little love time there. Interesting. I just met a squirrel a week ago, and I was driving home with my bicycle, and after that I just saw a squirrel right in front of me, and it was just hiding some nuts, and I was like, okay, you are supposed to run away, but I just stand here and don't bother me. And the squirrel actually didn't bother at all. That I was standing 1 meter away from it, and did run around a little bit. It seemed to be a little nervous. I think it instinctively wanted to flee, just like squirrels actually do. And yeah, and it was really nice to just see it trying to be busy, hiding its nuts, and getting to do something, getting to see a real squirrel. I was trying to notice how the tail was waving while he was just running around and jumping. A really funny experience there. Sometimes you actually see a lot of animals just doing their stuff in front of you, and yeah, that's I guess that's how they do it. Um, Maybe it's more of a human thing to be annoyed about that, but I'm not an expert for that. That's just that's maybe just guessing right now. Maybe it's also that the smaller animals do care about no privacy while doing that, because maybe their lifetime or something didn't give them a selection factor while doing that, and the bigger animals actually tend to hide themselves. But now that's wild speculation. I guess I should just stop it with these speculations, because I'm getting too wild right now. It's something that squirrels should do, not me. Now, I think the problem might be that this takes into account the camera position. Is it true? Yes. No, doesn't. Actually, it doesn't. This is this is a total distance, so that's not the problem either. Hmm. I'm going to look into the initialize function. Yes, and this is going to save the camera position. And okay, I need to do to initialize the layers after they've been initialized, and this should fix the problem. Let's hope for the best.
Away.
Nope.
Your become.
That is interesting. So there could be a dozen of ways where this is wrong. So what I'm trying to do is, these lowest positions, they hold the information for the background, how it should look at this low position. Like if you go on this plane, I've set up the background to be looking like this. And now if you go to the highest positions, the background should be looking like this. So you now only see the mountains. And it works if and only if I set the lowest position to have the same position as the camera, which is going to mean this has to be 0, 0, 0, 0. Then this will be the same position as the camera. But I actually don't want this. I want to set it up here, not where the camera is, and then just when we start the game, to quickly get it over to the camera, so we don't need to mess around with this. And it seems that the positions of these layers are then put to a wrong value. No, that's not it. That this y speed is put to a wrong value. Let's take a look at the y speed, and then we should see the difference if in the mode where it is working and where it is not working. So now it's not working. We are just looking at what is the shifting speed for the y position, and it seems to be correct. The speed seems to be correct. So what? Yes. Because setting it to the vector 0 does not actually shift the background. It sets the position without taking account the backgrounds. Okay, that's not good. So how do we fix this? I would say it might be just look at the camera and set the position, but only the X position correct. Oh, that also shouldn't work. So this is set up to have actually 3 of these objects, but we only need 2. That's kind of I know what we need to do. We need to set them to the camera position and then just calculate the position for each layer. Okay, fair enough. Shouldn't take too long. So can do this in this function right here. Because we know this is all from the background control. And let's take a look. This should we just have to make this shift vertically. We need to have a reference to where we came from and where we are going to. Okay. Now this is not set up to do that. We can do this before we set up the script. No, we can do this before we set up the local position. We just need to give it the information it needs to have, though. No, it can get the information for themselves. So instead of taking the old camera position, it has to actually use its own transform position here, and then it should work. Now let's try this out and just hope for the best. Because hope is sometimes all we have, especially when testing code. Let's hope. And it actually works. That's great. It works. Now this is what I wanted it to look like. Now we can easily set up the lowest position and highest position for the tileset background easily in 5 minutes. Now the only problem that we need to fix is, or look at is, will the background repeat itself indefinitely?
You are, however,
So let's just play through the level and look at the background and displace any errors.
Lane, finally I found you. I heard that you have turned into a vampire and want to help you. Let's get you to safety. There's a group of angry...
Too late. You're mine now, vampire. I will get rich with the bounty on your head.
The bandit is blocking your path to the artifact behind him. If you want to survive, you need the artifact.
Okay, looks good.
This is the area where
we still don't have any errors in the tile set. I think the problem was that it was updating with the camera position, and there was too much space while moving with the camera. So theoretically, it can still break, practically not.
Lane!
Damn it.
Lane! Hey!
Okay, the peasants are quite strong at this difficulty level. But we're not here to test the difficulty yet. We will eventually, but not yet.
Lane! Lane!
Okay, now the level 2 looks okay. Yeah, it's exactly how it is supposed to look. I have to be careful not to die here. Because I'm nearly finished with Okay. I got that. And I died. But it doesn't matter. The save point was right there. Okay.
Lane! Lane!
So it looks like we will have to make one more change to the code to make sure that it when the camera moves really fast, that each of these pictures here in the background, the images, if I find it, if the camera is moving really fast, let's say it moves really fast to this side, then it sees that this image here is out of the camera border and puts it here. Puts it here. And for some reason, what happened last time in the test, it then also saw that this image here is not inside of the camera borders, and also did put it here at this position. And this created this kind of weird effect where the background would not repeat itself correctly. And we have to look into that, how we can prevent that from happening. But that's it. After that, we can finally go and set up the brushes. What I originally intended to do today, but well, got to fix those errors. And sometimes things don't go your way. You just have to accept this, I guess. Yeah. So this is done in the scroll images function. This function here, this function right here, we'll put one image to the left, and let's see what happens. So it's just taking the image that's to the most left, taking that as a reference. So it's taking the left image here. It's currently compiling because I changed something in the code. We'll take this as a reference, for example, this as a reference, and say, okay, this image has this position +1. And then it will set itself up so that this image is a new white image. So something still went wrong. Okay, I had a short network error now. Now, a lot of things seem to not go my way today. Interesting. So, short reconnection for no reason. Maybe just a server reset by my provider or something. Let's not worry about that. Not important. So, let's put the player over here and just go to the left. Normally we tested going to the right all the way. Now let's just go to the left and see what happens. Maybe it will cause an error, maybe not. So something seemed to be weird. Let's go. It looks alright. I think I saw something happening. But no, the images are white. So the next thing that did broke the script was if I teleport the character. Now, normally you won't cheat and teleport the character anywhere. And this also seems to cause no error. That's bad, because we want to reproduce what happened. I actually want to get the error right now. Because I'm testing. Not listening, having any sounds right now, because I'm in the wrong Z position. Let's go ahead on this platform right here. And everything looks to be quite working well, just as we want. So, last thing that we might want to do is just keep teleporting the character until it breaks the script. So where's the character right now? Can't find the character. There he is. Inconveniently still having the old name Larry, who is a really an old name and was a stupid idea from me to name him like that. Okay, we teleported him across the whole map and the background still didn't break. That's inconvenient. So nothing, no bugs so far. Okay. Then maybe I will find out later how we can reproduce this bug. Let's not be bothered by this for now. I think it will come up again. Let's keep this in our head though. It might be because I changed a lot of things in the code that this fixed the problem. But I'm not convinced because I don't know where the problem was. I don't know what it was supposed to fix that either. And yeah, that doesn't convince me at all. Now, it's tutorial time. There's this Unity brush that we want to import now. So now we need to actually start watching tutorials. So I've already started to watch tutorials. And maybe, what do I want to do? Unity Prefab Brush. Yeah, it's there. Now, this is the tutorial by Unity. It was done 4 years ago, and it just tells you straight up how to set up this brush that we need. So since this is just 3 minutes, let's just go ahead and watch it.
In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can use the Prefab Brush to paint prefabs as tiles in our scene. We're going to look at how to create and use a prefab brush, and we're also going to look at how we can adjust the tile map grid to also paint prefabs in a 3D scene. Sometimes when using the tile map, we'll want to add more complex objects into our scenes. In this scene, I've built a level using the tile map tools, and if I play the game, we can move around and explore the scene, but there's not much else to do. I'd like to be able to add some collectibles into the scene for our player to pick up. In my project, I have these gem prefabs that I can place into the scene. We could duplicate and move these around as usual, but this is a little bit slow and imprecise. Using the 2D Extras pack, we can actually define this gem prefab as a tile for us to paint onto our tile map.
The 2D extras are actually inside of the project manager. And here I think I already fetched the package and imported it. We need to add the 2D extras. Let's see if we added them. Don't see anything. Let's just look for 2D extras. Extra 2D extras, it's not installed, so that's bad because it's risky to install any package without saving. So let's copy the project. I'm going to do this on my second screen now. And just watch tutorials while the project is being duplicated. Let's close this window. We will start a new project for this, which will just be a copy of our old project. But it happened to me that I imported some stuff into Unity, and then the project broke. And I was very happy that I always copy my folder, set up a new project when I import some kind of packages. Because some packages use some rendering pipeline related stuff, and if that stuff overrides your settings, it can easily break your game. And a lot of people complain about this when everything is going to be set for the wrong pipelines, for example, and then every material will be pink displayed in the game, and you will have to go through every material and set them up again. And this is a very tedious and annoying procedure that we want to avoid. And this is why I need to save this up. If anything goes wrong, we don't want to start from the beginning again. Okay, let's keep watching the tutorial.
To do this, we'll need to create a new prefab brush, which we'll call gems. Then, if we select the asset, we can assign the first gem prefab into the prefabs list. Let's create a tile map specifically for our gems, and then if we select the gem brush from the choice of brushes in the tile palette window, we can then simply paint the prefab into our scene just as we would any other tile. There's 2 more gem prefabs I'd like to use. We could create a new brush for each of them if we wanted to paint them individually. However, I'd like to have the brush randomly picked between these gems, so we'll add them to the list of prefabs on our existing brush. Now, if we paint with the brush, we can lay out random gems across our level. Using the Prefab Brush, it's easy and quick to combine 3D assets or more complex game objects into our 2D game. It's also worth noting, however, that we can use this brush to help us lay out prefabs in a 3D scene too. Here, I've got an empty 3D scene and a tile map grid aligned vertically. I have a custom prefab brush for some trees, which, if I paint here, align and stack vertically with the tile map. If I select the grid and change the swizzle from XYZ to XZY, and then select the tile map and change the orientation from XY to XZ, we can now see that the grid aligns with our ground plane and our brush now enables us to paint in 3D space. As you can see, the Prefab Brush is an extremely powerful and flexible addition to the tile map toolset that allows us to very quickly place more complex objects into our 2D and 3D environments and helps us build complex levels much more easily. For more information about the tile map features, or to download Unity and try the Prefab Brush yourself.
Okay, the rest is just telling us, click the link. Okay, I got it. Yeah, we can just look at the GitHub repository and see what kind of awesome new features we can get with this. Normal development on 2D extras. Okay, that's an interesting start. And was that? So they seem to have worked on this 2 years ago. When was the README edited? Okay, we see the README has been edited 14 months ago. So they stopped working on this for 2 years now. Okay. So we are changing how we develop additional 2D tiles and brushes for the 2D tile map. An important part of this change involves ensuring a single point of entry for users to get the latest tiles and brushes for tile map. To this, we created the tile map extras package, which is accessible from Package Manager. Okay, so we don't need to get this from GitHub. We can get this from the Package Manager. Moving forward, the 2D Extras GitHub repository will be made read-only. You will still be able to clone and pull the contents of the repository as it is right now. Tile Extras already includes animated tiles, wool tile, the wool override tiles, group brush, line brush, random brush, and game object brush. So the random brush, very, very, very powerful, and this is actually what I'm looking for. Let's go on. It also includes 3 samples covering common use case of wool tiles and animated tiles. Read more about tile map extras in the announced thread. If there is functionality in 2D extras that is important to your team and your product, please let us know in this thread or start the discussion in the 2D forums, and we will consider adding it to the tile map extras package. For issues with the tile map extras, please use the standard Unity channels via the Unity blog reporter. And okay, now they are not talking about the technical details anymore, so we can skip this. And yeah, let's see how we can use the information that is most important to us, and that is the random brush. That is actually what is most important for us. So let's see. Unity random prefab brush. Can we find something about that? YouTube says no. Well, as I said, the YouTube algorithm is getting worse and worse every year. Random tile? No, we don't want to have tiles. We want game object random. That's not ideal. Okay, So we can still look up into the package and look what is written in there. So I'm still copying the project right now. So right now it's on 28%, and this will still take 20 minutes, I guess. So I will try to maybe find another tutorial about this with the Prefab Brush. Maybe 2D extras. How to add Unity 2D extras to your game. In 5 minutes, I can actually do this video in 10 seconds. It's just really go to the package manager, click install with this package. I don't know why there's a tutorial about that, but yeah, whatever. Good, that interesting clickbait there. How to install? Yeah, okay. We know how to install that. Interestingly, we don't find anything that is any good here. Yeah, nice. So no tutorials, I guess. That's convenient. Yay! We have to do anything by ourselves. Just find it out somehow. Let's look under 2D brush. Maybe we'll find something. So 1 year ago, I know Thomas Brush. Oh yeah, Thomas Brush is actually a very good tutorial guy for artistic work, but I think Unity did find him because his name is Brush. Yeah, that's quite annoying. Nothing against the guy though. He makes great tutorials. And now the YouTube algorithm is getting worse and worse. This Unity editor tool, Game Object Brush 2D. This is actually something that we are looking for. And the rest of these things here that YouTube is finding, is just something we are supposed to click by YouTube. It wants to clickbait us to stay longer on YouTube, just, I guess. It's horrible. This is why I hate the YouTube algorithm. I think it's really too much about clickbaiting. This is why I've disabled that I see any recommendations by YouTube, because YouTube is just trying to waste your time more and more every year. And yeah, I've been criticizing the YouTube algorithm for years now, and I just see why again and again.
Hello there, it's you.
So why does this not use my headphone? I guess I stuck
Really
out the
be
cable.
here, and
accidentally.
today I bring you the second part of this 3-part tutorial on how to make this small farm. Now, on this second part, we'll be looking at how to use this plot of land that we made on the first part and make a little isometric farm. For starters, we'll need to create a folder where we'll keep all the prefabs that we create.
Yeah, let's just start
And see, it seems to be a
skipping,
bit
because
bigger.
this
I'm
is
gonna
12
go
minutes.
with 3.4
And 12 minutes
installed. We
can
go
be
over
tedious.
here to the
So she
prefabs
uses
folder
she
and
uses
create
2D
this
extras.
prefab brush.
That is good.
We can head over here to create 2D. And there should
And there's the brush. So
be an
this is
option for
exactly what we're
brushes
looking
and
for.
a prefab brush. When we click over here, there will be a new prefab brush created. We just gotta name it plot brush. And this is what is going to be drawing the brush on the grid. Now, as we can see here on the plot brush, it asks us for a prefab. The prefab is going to be the plot, and we can drag and drop it over here on the prefab slot. Now that we've done this, the plot brush is set up. We just need to open the window to the tile palette. And once we open it, it should look like this. We're just gonna create a new palette. We're gonna name it Farm Palette and hit create. And it's going to ask us a folder where to store it. If you want to keep your project more organized, maybe you should create a new folder for palettes or tile maps, but I'll keep them together with the plot and the plot brush.
So this seems to be a really good tutorial. She's actually talking about how to implement the brush in the game. So exactly what we're looking for. I think we would have find this anyway. So find out anyway. But it's good preparation for what we are going to do. Just to get as much information as we can before we actually maybe miss something that is important to us. And if you don't watch tutorials, you might never get to know some certain functions. And yeah, this is very, very similar to how you actually do tile sets. So yeah, nothing surprising me there. Let's go ahead.
So on the prefabs folder, I'll hit select folder. So now over here we have our farm palette, as you can see. And now we gotta just use our new brush. Here you can go to the default brush and you can see that there's a plot brush that you can select. Selecting it, you can just use the normal tools to paint the new tile palette. As you can see, it kind of looks like a mess. This happens because our Y order is not sorted. First, let's erase this mess and also get rid of this plot here, because since we have the prefab, we don't need this anymore. I'm gonna delete it. And now if we go over here and try to draw again on a very neatly manner, you soon realize that when we hit play, what happens is the tiles get drawn in a different manner, going all around the place. So what we can do to avoid this is we can create our script that is going to set the Z order. The script is going to be doing all the work for us, and it is limited. But since this is a very small farm, there's no problem with it.
So what happened there is these plots here, they are not tile sets. They are not preset prefabs that have any order written in them. She's just drawing them down, and they appear in the order that she's drawing them. But since there's no information in which order they are going to be displayed, Unity doesn't know when you press play in which order they are, and just randomly chooses to draw them front to back. I think it's left to right. Not sure about that, but the information for order is not. If the information for order is not there, Unity will just paint them from left to right. So we have to be careful later to really set every layer where we want to display our assets when dragging in any prefabs. But I think that's not that hard. We want to do that anyway. So let's go.
So what we need to do now is we're going to go over here to the scripts folder, and we're going to create a new C# script, and we're going to name it isometric Z. Okay, and we can open this up on Visual Studio, and what we're going to need is just the start method. We just need to tell the tile what its Z position is. This is because if you look over here on the main camera, it's positioned at -10, and if we were to position a plot too far behind on the Z axis, for instance, at -11, it doesn't get seen anymore. If it's positioned at -10, it also doesn't get seen. So we need it to be in front of the camera so it can be seen. As you can see, at -9, you can see it, and at -10, you can't.
Okay, this is worrying me quite a lot, because in 2D you usually don't work with the Z value. You would not send the Z value. Instead, you just set the sorting layer right here. So this is a little bit weird what she's doing right there. maybe she's doing a 3D, 2D hybrid game, then it's okay, but it's a little bit unusual.
This happens because of the position of the camera, and we gotta be very careful about it when we're setting this Z position. And the Z position is going to be given by the tile's Y position.
We are going to skip this because we are not using the Z position. As I said, in 2D you use X and Y, but not Z. Z is a third coordinate that you just don't have in 2D. So yeah, you shouldn't use Z at all, if possible, in 2D. There's only a few edge cases. If you use any 3D elements, they use the Z coordinate. But normally, if you don't use any 3D objects, don't bother using Z. It's only going to be a mess.
We go back to the game to solve it. First, we need to add this script isometric, and we need to go to the script and select it, drag and drop it over here, and as you can see, it already executes, and we can hit play and see if it's working. It appears to be working. Here, if we go back to the game scene, we can see that each individual plot of land is going to have a different Z, as we can see over here. Yeah, it is working. So this is the expected behavior, and it seems to be working quite nicely. I'm gonna change the shape of the farm. Now we're going to create a new farm, a smaller one that is going to be square. And as you can see, it looks like a mess over here, but when we hit play, it works perfectly fine because the Z order is correct.
Again, I'm not a fan of this tutorial because what you see should be what you get, in Unity at least. She sees this in the editor, and then in the game the tiles are going to look totally different, and this is really not easy to work with. I'm not a fan of this kind of method, because you want to see in the editor how your game is going to look. How this works with one layer. How would this look with a lot of layers, with background objects, with objects in the foreground? I don't think this is a good method. Don't recommend working like this.
It works perfectly fine because the Z order is correct, and we can plant it, we can harvest.
Okay, so let's skip ahead. There's nothing else that is important for us right now here in this tutorial. Started very promising until she starts to use the Z coordinate, and also she's not talking a lot about the Prefab Brush. She's just talking about how to set this tile setup after using the brush. It's a little bit inconvenient for me. Well, let's go ahead and look at the next tutorial that we found. We are at 90%, so it looks like we will just look at some tutorials for this time until we can finally start up Unity. Then Unity will still have to start up, so I guess we will get through all of these tutorials today.
Brush 2D es una herramienta de editor para Unity que nos permite usarlo como si fuera un pincel de Game Objects, es decir, pintar sobre la escena e instanciar Game Objects como si estuviéramos usando un pincel.
I'm not sure if he speaks very fast English or if it's some foreign language I don't recognize. He's using English comments and used some English words. I think this is not in English.
Bueno.
Do we have subtitles? It's Spanish, okay. Okay, let's set this to English.
Usarlo como si fuera un pincel de Game Objects, es decir, pintar sobre la escena e instanciar GameObjects como si estuviéramos usando un pincel. Bueno, vamos a pasar a verlo en el editor. Se abre desde la pestaña de Tools y acá lo que estamos viendo es la interfaz del Brush Editor. Tenemos una colección de pinceles ya que he precargado y podemos agregar como un nuevo pincel cualquier elemento que sea un GameObject en nuestro proyecto. Por ejemplo, en este caso voy a agregar un barril. Le damos Add y ya tenemos cargado el nuevo pincel.
So it's really hard to follow the tutorial and follow the subtitles. Interesting.
En cada pincel tenemos varias propiedades que podemos definir que nos ayudan a utilizar esta herramienta de forma más eficiente, como habilitar el pintado, habilitar el borrado, sobre qué máscara queremos que se pinte. Si ponemos Nothing o Everything, o sea, si ponemos Nothing no anda, si ponemos Everything se puede poner sobre cualquier escena. Acá podemos ver que tiene una previsualización donde va a ir el elemento. Otros campos interesantes son como la posición discreta. Cuando está activado el elemento nada más lo podemos posicionar en ubicaciones discretas. Distancia mínima de drag es cada cuántas unidades después del drag se va a posicionar un nuevo elemento del pincel. Y este pincel tiene densidad, es decir, cuántos elementos se ponen en el lugar donde hacemos clic. Y el tamaño del pincel define cuántas unidades.
So he's saying there's a lot of useful options to set this up. I'm going to look if this is actually the Unity 2D extras. He doesn't tell. No links. I don't think. Yeah, this is GoBrush 2D version 3.2. This is not the Unity brush. It is maybe a good idea to look at this brush though, because sometimes the custom tools made by the users are way better than the stuff that is provided by Unity, because the users are way more. The actual Unity developer team, even the Unreal Engine team, is just a team of maybe 50 hardcore developers, and 10 of them are really working on the core features. And sometimes it can be stunning how small teams of core features are. And that's worldwide, in even the biggest companies like Facebook and everything. There's not a lot of developers working there. And yeah, Facebook has been known for since some times to not hire their own developers, because not developers want to work for Facebook. They get their developers from startups. They buy startups. They've just bought. Facebook has just bought a German startup recently for VR. And since the resources of Unity and Unreal are limited compared to how many users they have, the users often come up with a lot of solutions that the developers of the engines cannot provide. On the other side, they do have a lot of experience, and since they have been improving their engines for years and years, again and again, the developers from Unity and Unreal Engine are actually real high profile developers who do have some skills that you won't find in the usual programmer. This is why, for example, John Carmack, who was also giving some tips to the main developers of Unreal Engine, has had a lifespan of 20 years, where he was working on project after project, and he was taking all his experience from his older project, build on that, and then he could go into 3D. Then he could make his own engines, but he did build up his knowledge over the years, for example.
Na verdade, isso aqui é uma lista, certo? Mas eu vou criar dois aqui de forma separada, tá? F2.
Okay, we have another tutorial, not in English, so I'm just going to look up. He's talking about 2D extras, but this time since I'm already opening the game right now, I'm not going to watch this 10-minute video. I'm going to just skip a little bit through it and try to find what he's doing. Let's mute this and just play it. But because since he doesn't speak English, it will be hard to understand what he's saying. And the automatic translation tends to be really hard to read if it comes to precise game development stuff. It's okay for normal conversations, and if it gets to precise language, yeah, the translation tends to be quite unprecise. So here's a 2D Extras master. I think he cloned this from GitHub. And he made a brush. And now he can paint coins with it. So what we see here, he puts these prefabs into the grid. The grid is, this is really a grid system where your time maps are supposed to be. Interesting. I think Unity also wants us to put those always into the grid. We want to look into if we need to use a time map every time. Maybe we don't want to use a time map every time we are placing some of the prefabs. Because in the grid system, we have an exact position. And we maybe don't want to be in a grid system for our prefabs. Because, yeah, it's artistically not very interesting to do that. Yeah, I don't see anything interesting here anymore. So let's look at this brush here. Go brush to the Unity. Maybe we find this project here. Yeah, there's the review package. Gamedevelopment brush. Interesting. So this is also in the time map extras. So I was wrong. This is not a custom-made brush. Okay, Unity opened. So let's get to work. Hold on. Okay, update check. We're not going to update now because updating will take another hour. We don't want to take another hour for updating. We want to do this maybe tomorrow if I'm not at the PC and yeah, maybe outside going to buy something or so, I don't know. Yeah, maybe if I'm going to the supermarket, I will do the update because yeah, then you really can't do anything. We want to go to the time map extras, install them. So finally, we get to the title of the stream, brushes, after such a long time. But as I say, it's not important where you what we wish for. It's where we are, and we have to improve from that forward. Okay. So we have some examples that we could also import. This is a rule tile. This is a rule tile. This is an animated tile. I'm really interested in animated tile. Rule tiles not so much at the moment because I've set this project up to not use rule tiles. Has been some time since I started the project, and back then I did use rule tiles. This is a normal tile set. Okay, So let's create a brush. Where are we going to create this? We're going into maps. Create folder. Brushes. Create 2D. And now we should see some kind of brush option. Okay, so where is it? It's not under 2D. It's under brush. Okay. There's a brush. Interesting. And there's not a lot of options. So let's call it test brush. And this looks quite different from what I expected. Not sure if this is the right brush actually. Let me take a look back to the Unity tutorial.
I have these gem prefabs that I can place into our tile map. To do this, we'll need to create a new prefab brush, which we'll call gems.
He creates it inside of the hierarchy. And I don't see an option there. It might be that we have to restart the editor because it hasn't added it has not added the tools to the UI that we need to set up the brush, because it's missing here. Okay, so let's go to the package manager again. See if we really have picked up the extras. Okay, we have imported them. They should be there. Go to the asset folder. Nothing added in here. Let's go to the packages. To the timer extras has been added. Okay. Okay, and here's a script for game object brush. Oh, there's a help URL. That's interesting. Custom grid brush. Okay, let's go ahead and reopen the project. It might be that because these are editor functions that have been added, that I need to that Unity has to read them out again. It happens with the editor functions sometimes. I know it when I code editor functions by myself, you can customize them, and I also did some editor functions by myself. And then you need to restart the editor. Normally with packages, I haven't encountered this issue. Normally they update immediately, but it could be that this is an error here. So let's see. No brushes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close my window real short. Wait a second. Be right back. Just a second. Okay, there I am back. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the title screen. I think I just thought it would be better than seeing me get up and sitting down again. So, okay, now I haven't understood how we set up this brush so far. So, we're going to look at the documentation. And usually Unity has a really, really good documentation. Something that I always say is top notch about Unity. The documentation is really easy to get into. The documentation usually is just like it's supposed to be. A lot of comments, they show an example and describe what each function does. Unfortunately, not everybody does this nowadays. So we're going to go into 2D access. Okay, we are already in the documentation here. We see the documentation. It has tons of information here. And a lot of people just push in their little tools there, and they are like, hey, you have to figure it out by yourself. So, to find these additional brushes, open the Tile Palette window, Windows to the Tile Palette. Okay. Window to the Tile Palette. Well, we already have one here. And open the brush drop-down menu. Near the bottom of the editor, select the available brush options for different effects. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, there they are. But they have more brushes. Well, I do have the random brush, which is the brush that I'm interested in. And doing something? No. So how do we set this up? Pick random tiles. Interesting. Oh, I guess it's working like this. Just grid selection and then no. Number of tiles 2. So you can with this you can just set up some tiles in here. So you need to set them in there somehow. Now he just picks up some tile sets from this tile here. But you can specify which one he should use. So if I would tell him which one, and I don't know the names right now, but let's just pick 2. This one and this one. Now I can draw with this, and it will randomly play one of displays one of these 2 tiles. Okay, that's easy. Okay, now let's erase all of them. Can we lock this? It's a little bit inconvenient. Okay. Let's go to the ladder ladder tile map, because the ladder tile map is not nice for testing because it doesn't use. No, let's go to the background tile map, which I have disabled for testing reasons. We can enable the background again. The background is great because the background doesn't have physics. You can't interact with the background tile. That. So it seems we need to put them into time map. Well, it has some kind of problems. So we can set the Z position here. Okay. Can put in elements. Let's just drag in a random element. So for that we need to have a prefab defined and specifically set anything up for this. So we're just going to pick 2 power-ups and put them in there. Chalice. Can we add another element, please? No. It doesn't want me to pick a chalice. Can I draw with this? Yes, I can. But I cannot use 2 cells. Maybe because it doesn't want me to use other prefabs. So I can just pick 1 prefab with this. It's pretty useless. Yeah, that's pretty useless. Group brush. What is in this? I don't know. This is also not the brush that we are looking for. Then there's a line brush. And I'm not too much interested how that works right now. So you can draw something, but nothing's happening. It's a weird line. Ah, that's how it works. Yeah, okay. That's not too useful for me right now. See that? Yeah, okay. That's nothing I'm looking forward to to use. The group brush. Just using a group. Don't know where it gets the information, what belongs to the group. Oh, it just says use these cells here. Okay, but this is nothing that I need a brush for. So the random brush is the only one that I'm really interested in. So we need the ability to set up our custom brushes, because this brush is fine. I can put in different things in here. Let's put in prefabs. So let's see if this is possible. It's not. Okay. Interesting. So I think we need to set this up by ourselves. Scriptable brushes. That's nice. Okay, we can script them by ourselves. Or can we? So this brush instances places and manipulates game objects onto the scene. Use this as an example to create brushes with targets game objects other than tiles for instancing and manipulation. So yes, we will have to set up the brush by ourselves. Okay. Okay, so let's go into scriptural brushes. You can script brushes to paint items based on their position, on the position and conditions of the cell it targets on the grid layout. Brush paint behavior can be further modified by selecting editing tool such as erase or flat fill. There are some implementations of scriptural brushes which can help save time when designing your tile map. Okay, so we have set up, we have looked into these brushes already. Yes, and we will be looking specifically maybe at the game object brush or the random brush. I think we will look at the random brush. So we will use both actually. So for the trees here, I don't know if we can make them into a tile set. Let's take a look at this tile map here. Okay, we can set a material. Okay, then I think it might be better to put all our game objects into a tile map, which would make it a little bit easier if we wanted to draw specific objects by ourselves and specify which one we want to draw. Could be, but does not have to be. That's the problem. So we need to be careful here, because we are going to work with this hours and hours. So this is a really, we have to think this through before we make our decision. So the first thing that I was worrying about is if I would be putting these trees into the brush, into a tile map, I can put these trees right here into a tile map. And first I was worrying that then the leaves wouldn't move because I didn't know if I could apply material. And it seems that could work and it would have the benefits. Then you would just have one of these palettes here. I can just create a new palette and say, let's just do it. Background 3 assets. Right. Maps. Background. No. Dudettes. Where are the dudettes? Yeah, the dudettes. And let's create a folder named tile maps. Now we are still testing what is the correct direction we need to go in, because making them game object could also have its benefits. Now the problem is if we create a game object out of each of these trees here, it might be harder to erase them, replace them, edit them with brushes. Actually, it will be harder to do that. It would have, if we put them into a tile map, then it will be much easier. Though the problem is that I want to randomly give them a position and a Z rotation. And that could also be a little bit harder in a time map. That is better to do in a game object. However, what you normally would expect a game object to do is to have some kind of script or some kind of interaction with some kind of environment, and we don't have that. So there's a lot of pros and cons here. Yeah, so we should be very, very, very careful. Let's go ahead and just drag in some trees in here. So, yeah, how are we doing this? We're going to the doodad folder, and we're going to the trees. We have 4 trunks. We're going to drag them in here. Yep, we're going to create 4 more trunks here. Now we have the trunks here. You can see I can pick them up. I'm on the tile map. It's working. It's working immediately. And if I have a random brush, it's interesting. Number of tiles 4. Now can maybe put in this in here. No. So let's put this to 0. Okay. Now, how do you add things into this random brush? It's just by clicking each individual tile. 1, 2, 3, 4? No. Also not. Oh, like this. Okay. And now if I disable this box here, then it's not going to pick up any new thing. Okay. And now I can just randomly place 1 tree trunk anywhere. And it will randomly pick up which one. That's nice. So now I can put in 3 here. Now I don't like that it sometimes puts in randomly some tree that I don't want. So with 4, I have to be very careful because it seems that it likes to put in the same trunks over and over again. Just because 4 is not a lot. Okay, then we want to have the tree leaves. These are all our leaves. I think only the last ones. These ones where did not look as we wanted them to be. So let's put them here. And now we can pick random tiles. And here we go. Here we have set up a brush, which will automatically give us a random tree leaf. Now we still have to do a setup because the size of these tree leaves is not correct. And as I said, we want to have a little bit more control over this. There's also some kind of jitter in this tile map. One thing that is really good right now is this is a tile map. I have to find it. Or we are just placing them on the ground right now. So let's make a new time map. Surely. Let's make a new time map. And call this trees. Just trees map. Okay. Now we can specifically say this is supposed to be in the background, order 1. And if I erase all these trees here, okay, also erase things that I didn't want to erase. Okay, I erase all these trees here. Now I can go on the trees map and paint. So right now you see that the trees map is not showing anything. I think we are not in the correct background. Where the hell is the background layer though? So this layer here is on 101. Okay, this to 1. Maybe this was because of some test. Because this is a test level. This is how things are supposed to be. Okay, let's select our trunks. And we put in 4 of the trunks. And we are on the wrong layer. We want to go into the trees map. And look that you can immediately see that the trees now have shrunken down. That is because the tile map that we just created is smaller. So you need to click those 3 until they don't display the same tile again and again. Then let's add leaves. Actually, for this we would have to create a new tile map and call it leaves map. The reason is the leaves are always on top of the trees, so we need to add 1 in the order in the background. So this is something in this use case that is not very convenient. So we go to the leaves map and we are automatically in front of the trees. It's okay. Let's try to make those trees look good. Okay. Now we see some jitter here because they are all on the same map. That might be a problem. The benefit that we would have with game object here, we could set up individual trees before, like this. This tree here generally looks good. This is a good looking tree, like we want it to be, or this one. And these trees here, I think the randomness in their tree structure is not very helpful, to be honest. The randomness here makes them to be a little bit less good as these ones, which have been customly made before. So this is something to keep in mind. So with game objects, if this is a game object, the whole tree with all of its leaves, we can just pick this tree and randomly pick one of these trees and put them in the game. This might be better than doing this method. And I also have to play the game now and look if the trees you see the jitter in the time map. If this is in the game later, unacceptable. Forget it. Then we can't put them on time maps. Okay, now the order of the layers is a little bit off. Also think we are in a weird Z position, but the good thing is we have no jitter in the leaf structure. Not sure why we have some problem here with the tile map. I think I deactivated the ground. Yeah. Okay. So now we come to the next, the final test, and this is going to be determining if this method here is out of the question or not. And this is, yeah, we do have this leaves shader. And what does it do? I just admitted it's a straight up copy of, it's supposed to be a straight up copy out of
SCI. That is some dope trees.
Thank you. Yes, I really like those trees. Thank you for joining. How is this pronounced? So-sai? I really like those trees. Did spend quite a lot of time on them. Quite a little bit more time than I actually wanted to. So now we are applying some move to the leaves. So if you know the Unity, what's it called? The Unity demo, they have trees where the leaves are waving in the wind. And I'm just going to straight up copy that kind of script and put it into the game, because I think they did an awesome job. You can modify the movement of the leaves a little bit, and yeah. I don't think that I don't want to improve anything of that. So that's one thing why I'm testing out how to put these trees in my game now. I'm setting up the brushes now so that later it's not just trees, it's stones, it's vegetation. You have to put a lot of stuff in your game, and you don't want to just pick up every asset by yourself and yeah, every time decide, okay, now I want to put in this leaf, and now this one, now this one. You want to help to have some brushes help you to just randomly pick up some stuff. With the trees, I'm not convinced that the random trees are better than these ones. These are pre-made ones by me, and they just generally look much better, to be honest, because then you can make that this exact leaf here is in front of the tree, and it's smaller. It's supposed to be like this, and it's not nice to have this randomly put in. So I think I will make this tree here into a game object, and then set up a brush for that to put them into the game much faster. And then you can pick up one randomly. So the good thing with these brushes here, it looks like here, game object brush, random brush. Now I have to choose one. No, it's not. They're scriptable. You can mix up those two. They have provided, Unity provides you with a script for that, and you can mix those two, the game object brush and the random brush, and just pick up a random object. Set its rotation randomly. Very, very strong stuff here, and that's why I think I will go ahead and script my own brush. And today I've just started to get into that. So very excited to do that. And I don't think I will be finished with this today, because I'm still in the testing department part. I'm still in the testing part. So very excited. But thank you for saying these are dope trees. I think they have some really unique style. Now I love the demo trees. Now you can see them waving in the wind here. That's beautiful. Just beautiful. No doubt about that. That's why we are going to steal how that tree moves. Now, it could end up now that in the end I know myself, I do not steal the shader at all and to my own, but I know that would cost a lot of time, and for now I don't see any reason why I should. So let's find this shader graph. There it is. And you see, this is the graph that makes the tree move. And we're just going to take this part that makes the top of the tree move, copy it, paste it into this game. That's as easy as it goes. And we now need to set up the shader, which is going to take some time. So let's not get impatient. But this should go into the vertex position immediately. Yes. This newer version. Okay, let's get rid of this legacy version. Okay, update it. Good. Okay, now we did not get the all of these wind direction, wind scale, wind strength, wind speed, influence math variables. We didn't get them. We need to insert them. Luckily for me, I can just copy and paste them. That's nice. Always nice to just copy and paste stuff. And we just have to put them into the right graphs. I'm gonna put the shader graph out of last script, the demo Unity, to my second monitor. Now I can just copy and paste it. So this is going to look a little bit weird now, because I need to look at my second monitor. Okay. So the values have been set up correctly. Let's plug them in. So wind speed goes in here. The next one is wind direction. Goes in here. Or actually it goes in here. Now comes the wind scale. Here it comes. The wind strength. Wind direction again. Oh, I need to clean up these graphs though. What they really do well, they group all of these nodes, all of these nodes, and write a comment what they are doing. This is really something important. Actually, you can also do this in Unreal Engine. You can also use the group, the blueprints. They work very similar. You do have to find find a lot of them by typing in the correct node names. But yeah, the overall principle is very similar. But often you see shader graphs or blueprints, and they are not grouped, and there's no comment, and that's just bad coding style, to be honest. So always look at this stuff that they do here. That's just how it is supposed to be. Very, very nice. And I'm a little bit surprised here that is actually it. We now have to add the main texture. And we should immediately be able to see something happen. Let's plug in RGB and put out the color. You see the main preview, but this is with the wrong texture. We don't have to worry about that now. And here, now of course we do the group, and what we are doing, add the leaf sprite. Display the leaf sprite. Yeah, okay. And there's not a lot to say about this, because this is really a very, very basic node here. Play the leaf sprite, and it should immediately work. Now we can put in another leaf here. And you see that there's some kind of movement in this leaf already. It's very settled though. So first let's just save this up. And now apply this to every leaf that we can find here. Let's apply this leaf shader to this sprite and see what happens. Interesting, it's not moving. Not moving at all. Oh, we did apply it to a tile map. No, didn't. Actually, I would think we should see something happening right now. So I'm going to hit play and see why we don't see anything. For this we need to jump down here. And this leaf right here, this one, should actually move. So this one, but it doesn't. Because it doesn't have a vertex. Yeah, okay. That's something that I didn't set up. It doesn't have vertex. So let's go and find this. Go to the sprite editor. And look at the skinning. Now let's see if this has vertices that can be edited. It does have vertices. That's problematic. If it has vertices, why don't we see anything? Interesting. This also is an object. So can just make a material here. Leaf shader test. And set this up to use our shader graph that we just created to debug it. And to do that, we're going to apply this to our leaf here. Our leaf here. And try to change the wind direction. Okay, we don't see anything. Oh, now we see something. So I guess this value here has been set to a weird value. Okay. Now we see this moving. Oh, it's not moving like we wanted to. The movement is too subtle to actually notice it in the game. But now we have proven that it works. It's the first important thing. So I'm not quite sure why it's not moving as we thought it would. Ooh. It's also weirdly distorted into 3-dimensional space, I think. No, it's not. Still a flat plane. Interesting. So why do we have this weird jitter effect? I mean, this is the next generation of trees. I know it. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Maybe the wind strength shouldn't be negative? No, that's not it. How do we stop this effect from looking shitty? Not good, I mean. Oh, I know. Maybe let's go into the skinning again. And maybe it has not been set up to be able to maybe it doesn't use influence. Auto weights. Generate. Okay. Let's go into this project here. Look at this texture here, and let's see how it is set up. It's pretty similar. Okay, that's also not it. Well, looks like we will still have to do some debugging. Okay, let's take another look at the graph inside of this project. I don't think that we will be able to see anything though. It might have to do because we we change this from the legacy version to the new version. So let's look at the shader graph again. Maybe that's the problem. Because it could be that it's not taking the correct world position. Look into the shader graph. We can see it move here in the preview. It's taking world to object position. It's correct. There's a lot correct here. And in the preview, we can actually make this move correctly. Actually, I'm not able to let this move as weird as we have it in the current game. Yeah, we just shouldn't mess around with the wind speed. So the wind speed has to be really, really low. It's something we should keep in mind. So wind speed 0.01. Okay, still messy. Let's play the game and see if it maybe refreshes. Maybe it did pull itself apart, and after that never came back to a nice position. We also need to put the character closer to the actual leaf. No, it's not setting itself back to its original position. Nonetheless, I will reload the level. I don't think that the I think this has something to do with the level. It is one set its vertices to a weird position, and now can't reset them to a nice position. So reload the level. Let's see if it still is jittering. It is. Okay. So it's not the level. Still have to find what the hell is happening here. The thing that doesn't make any sense is I've set these values back to their default values. Oh, it's a wind bang. Yes. Now the wind speed. Now it looks good. But it could be influenced by wind a little bit more. How do we do this? And what is actually the problem here? Really, really weird. It looks nice with the individual leaves moving though, not gonna lie there. So I'm going to go ahead and just look at this shader again. And maybe I did plug in something completely wrong. So we're going to put this on my second monitor again and compare them. There's no way around this. So first one should be wind speed, wind direction, wind scale, wind strength, wind direction, influence mask. Yeah, it's completely correct. Everything's done correctly here. We use time, that's also correct. And even the preview here seems to be generally much better. Ah, that's so weird. Really weird what we have here. Okay, let's try the same thing with this material here. We set this up to test. It seems to have the same problem suddenly. Yeah, jittering. But how? So looking at this project, damn, every time you just want to copy and paste something really quick. We can change that we set this to none because this is a main text. It will set itself up automatically. This won't change it though. This is not the thing that we need to change. We can set this to 0. Makes it worse. Wind scale to 0.02. So set up the speed to be very high. To minus 0.2. Wind strength 0.3. Let's just use the values that they are using. And now we can see, yes, actually it works. Ooh, okay. Now we have some moving leaves. It looks a little bit off because they are the only moving leaves right now. Let's do this with all the leaves then. And now the leaves are moving. Beautiful. Great. I think this is a good step forward. So now we can set this up. Actually, we can just rename this into Leaves shader because we are going to use this. Why not? I don't think we need to set up too many different of those. However, the guys from Unity, they are applying some applying some variety by not using the same wind string. You can see that they just randomly assign different wind strengths. So we are going to name this Leaf Shader 1. So they have 6 materials. I think we can do 4 Leaf Shader 2. And then just copy their values. Leaf Shader 3. And then I will assign these values, and I guess we can call it a day after that, because I don't think that we will have to, that this is a good time to start customizing the brushes. Then this is something that I will do tomorrow if I'm going to stream tomorrow, which I really do want to. I think I'm going to do a 2 or 3 hour stream tomorrow, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go from wind strength 0.2 to something bigger. Then let's first set this up that this is moving a little bit more, just a little bit. Put 5 here, so we have a little bit more of movement. Let me see if they actually made the tree move. Material trees wind lit. Interesting. Okay, so also the tree does move. Interesting. This is why they have this Y position. I'm learning. So we have to make the trunks move with the leaves, so that, yeah. Okay, then we need a new material. Trunk wind movement. Trunk shader. Let's call it 1. I don't think that there will be number 2. And set it up. We also use the leaf shader. And as I usually do, I will put Unity on my second screen and just straight up copy the values. So this is minus 0.2, 0.02, 1.76, 6, and this is, now we have to find this by ourselves. We have to put this so that they root themselves into the ground. Okay. Higher. Of course, nothing's happening. I haven't applied them to. Yeah, I haven't applied them to the trunks. It's my bad. Ooh, interesting. Holy, what have we done? Oh man. That looks cool. That looks really like we have three-dimensional trees in the game. How awesome is that? Now they're distorted a little bit too much. But aside from that, it's absolutely awesome. Like this tree right here, it just looks like it's actually a 3D model. Wow. Okay, we have to speed them down though. So I think we have to use the same wind direction and wind scale as the original. And I think if we scale down the wind strength, maybe we can make this that they are not looking so weird. Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident this is the strength. Because the leaf shader has a strength of 0.2. They have a strength of 0.7. It's a lot of difference. Puts us to 0.6. Okay, let's hit play. I think they are not synced up correctly right now. Don't know what to do about that. Ah, damn. We need to place the main character down here. And look at these trees here. I mean, look at this tree here. This is awesome. Awesome. I think it looks especially good on this tree and this tree. How they are bending in the wind. Now, it looks a little bit off on this one. It looks like we have a weird 3D model. It also seems that they are not synced up with the leaves. And that's not good. You see that the leaves are moving in a different direction than the trees. That's something that we cannot have. So let's fix this first by looking what's the difference between the leaves and the trees. And first thing is the wind speed is different. So if we put the wind speed to 10 in both of them, now they are actually moving synced up. Now the leaves stay at the current positions. We have to make a trunk shader too though. A little bit of a shame. But this tree here, it needs its own shader because it's not looking too good. Trunk shader 2. And let's set it up. So can we maybe just copy these values? No, unfortunately not. So we need to just put them in there. I've already forgotten all of them. Wind speed was 10, influence mask. And for this one, we need to apply this to this specific trunk. This is going to get the trunk shader too. And make it a little bit more subtle. Yeah. Because the right side of this log here was looking a little bit too much off. Unfortunately, that makes it not synced up with the rest of the trees, so this needs to be 2.5. We need to get down the strength then. I think that could also work. Yeah, now they're synced up. So this one is just less affected and looks generally better on this one. Let's also put all these down to 0.5. Yeah, okay. Now we don't just have moving leaves. We have awesome moving trees. And they look like they're three-dimensional. I could not be happier right now. Now let's make the leaves move a little bit more. Pick up the wind scale a little bit, because we want it to be a little bit windy in the game. And now that it looks like they're shaking. And this Y position here, it roots them in a Y position. Now I'm not sure if this is good or bad. Now let's not use the Y position on the leaves. Okay, if we change the wind scale, I think they are not synced up with the trees anymore. But changing the wind scale generally makes the leaves looking better. So we can do this with the trees too. So now we can make them look a little bit more stormy. Because we are more in a kind of dramatic game, not such a calm game like in Unity, which is beautiful. But as I said, I've tried to go the route, but not every method works for every game. Okay, but this is too much. 0.5. Now we get of course into this kind of artistic area where you have to specifically find out which value looks good. Okay, and I think they are stretched a little bit too much, but that could just be my imagination. So let's put the character in here, and let's make him go through the scene, and let's look how it's looking. Look how it's good. Let's see how it's looking. And normally you will be here at those positions, just see the trees moving. Maybe when jumping up, you will see more of the trees. I'd say, yeah, it looks good. Yay! Okay, last test, set this up to be with a tile map. So we have this tile map here. The leaf map. Let's put in the leaves. Ooh, that's no good. And we put this trunk shader into the tree map. Yeah. So I guess that answers immediately what kind of brush we are going to use. This answers the question: are we going to use a leaf brush or a random brush, a game object brush or a random brush? We're going to use game object for the trees, because with the game objects we can set up individual leaves, sync them up with the trees, with the trunks, root the trunks into the ground, and make that only the top of the trunks move. We don't have this kind of control if we do this with the tile map. So for the trees, we won't do a tile map. We won't use a tile map for the trees. We will use a game object. Each of these trees here is going to be made into a game object, and then if you just do enough variation, now I can still set up the leaves here to be different each time, and then they're generally going to be looking good. So the only thing is I need more graphs here for the leaves, so the leaves have some kind of variation. So let's set them up, and after that it's calling it a day. But it's not a set time to call it a day. This is a great success, I would say. So put in these values here. Just copy and paste them. Can I edit multiple? Yes, I can edit multiple at once. That's nice. And now if I assign those individual shaders to different top parts, it should look like they are a little bit different. There's a little bit of randomness inside of the leaves, and make it more believable. I think we did go a little bit too much up with the values. Let's put them down by 0.2. So I think it is too windy right now. Okay, let's go up one more. So the highest value is 0.8. I think the 0.8 is the highest that we should go. The wind strength. It's not that we have other options that we can edit anyway, because everything else seems to make them not being synced up again. So if I put this to 1 here, the wind scale. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, okay. Enough experimentation. So far, we have set up some kind of leaves and trees, the trunks and leaves, and they make trees. That's great. So I guess it's a beautiful day to call it day now. And next time we're going to set up more brushes. I'm very happy about our progress right here, and we have now learned what we can do and what we cannot do. So vegetation, they will always be a separate game object because we want them to be separate when being affected by the shader graphs, and then they can move in the wind and be beautiful. Yes. Aside from that, stones, of course, we don't care about stones. Stones don't move. Maybe we want to pick the stones just into a tile set because we don't want to have as much movement with them. They don't interact with their environment at all, so we don't really care. Thank you for watching so far, or if you're watching the VOD later, thank you very much for watching it, and have a good day, night, evening, wherever you are right now, and thank you. Goodbye.